Good evening, and welcome to the Not Safe for Life Plagued Moth Iceberg. Plagued Moth is a YouTube content creator that you may have heard of. He considers himself a part of the true crime community on YouTube. He can often be found trying to get the attention of larger creators such as Mudahar, Wendigoon, Mama Max, and others. If these creators do not pay attention to him, he then starts calling them names.
Fuck Mama Max. Fuck him, fuck his friends, and fuck everything that clout cunt stands for. Stupid motherfucker. Hey, he only gives a shit about shit when it comes down to him getting some fucking clout and that little YouTube check. There's so many fucking issues, including fucking people breeding kids and using them as sex slaves. I brought some shit like that to his attention. Well, didn't interest him though because he couldn't make a video where he was frothing out his fucking nose. He also employs his ex-girlfriends. Give me a fucking break. Discord mod up the ass. Don't worry, you'll get another video in 10 months of him defending himself why he didn't like fucking rape someone.
However, what you may not know is that there is much more below the surface than first meets the eye. Sure, at first glance, Plagued Moth may look like any normal YouTuber who reacts to people dying. He's not that dissimilar from Zavgirl or Burned Show or any of the others. But what if I told you there was much more below the surface that you may not be aware of? This video serves as a starting point to kick off your investigation into Plagued Moth. Other videos will be linked below. You can go to dilmo.com to see all of them. Starting off above the iceberg is what everyone knows about Plagued Moth. He's a gore YouTuber, and he calls everyone who doesn't like him a pedophile. This is his most public persona. He does this on YouTube and on Twitter, and even enlists the help of his wife to post TikTok videos and other social media slander. It should be worth noting that to anyone who has looked at his videos with a critical eye, he never provides any actual proof of these claims, instead presenting something that tangentially relates to what he's trying to accomplish, and then stretches it and says it's proof. On the next layer down, we have the tip of the iceberg. Plagued Moth routinely lies to his viewers. He once claimed to see a video called Dig Your Roots. He gave a personal account of how he saw this video and how disturbing it was. He gave a lot of detail about this video, and as it turned out, the video did not exist. He also has made other strange claims, such as finding the original Jeff the Killer image. This also turned out not to be true. Plagued Moth can also be routinely seen ridiculing victims. He mostly keeps this to Twitter and other social media, because he likes to keep up the appearance of caring about victims on his main channel. He even will say that his channel was created to bring justice to victims, or to inform the public about what's going on, when in fact, back when he started his channel, before he had a reason to lie, he said that it simply made him money and made him horny. Now diving beneath the surface, we see that Plagued Moth has sold gore content, and in fact still sells gore content. He does this by having the gore content uploaded to websites that permit such videos to be presented. He then links those videos in his Discord, and you get into his Discord by donating to him. Plagued Moth will claim to no end that this does not equal selling gore. However, one has to ask, if he's not intending to sell gore, why does he put it behind a paywall? On top of this, Plagued Moth also allows minors in his gore-based Discord, where people openly discuss gore and where Plagued Moth himself makes threats of rape. We'll be getting back to minors in his Discord later on down the line. Below this we have false flagging. Plagued Moth has impersonated people to file false DMCAs in their name. He has also filed false DMCAs in his own name, which were overturned, as well as privacy complaints, which also were overturned. If anyone, at any point, posts a video criticizing Plagued Moth in any way, they can expect a DMCA and a privacy complaint no matter what is in the video. Now, Plagued Moth is also a fan of the band Burzum. Burzum, as a band, is actually one person named Varg. Varg is a Nazi. Varg burned down several churches and was convicted of this crime. Now, some people may say, hey, you have to separate art from the artist. Just because you like Burzum doesn't necessarily mean you support or like Varg. Unfortunately, if we check out the Tumblr account of Plagued Moth's wife, we can see that for a long time she has been quite enamored with Varg, and even has posts making fun of and supporting his actions. We are now a little more than halfway down the iceberg here, and we've already gotten to what is arguably the worst part. However, this is not the least known fact about him. Plagued Moth, by his own admission, has watched child pornography. He claims it was by accident, but he has also told so many different stories about how it happened that it's hard to believe anything he says. He has even claimed that he never saw it after saying he did, and then went back to saying he did after he said he never saw it. There is also the fact that one of his videos, a trailer that he produced, has footage in it that appears to be from the original child pornography video. It very much looks like Plagued Moth used the original video when crafting his trailer, meaning he would have to have had it downloaded. Now, of course, as we proceed, nothing will quite match up to the severity under the law of watching child pornography. However, we're going to go into some things that are definitely lesser known. Plagued Moth and his wife Andrea were caught scamming charity subreddits. This may in fact be why Plagued Moth has such a hatred of Reddit. On several subreddits across the site, people can post threads saying that they are having tough times, and saying that they need help. Andrea and Dylan Morgan were both caught trying to scam these charity subreddits by posting 2 different threads, acting like they didn't know each other, in order to get double the charity. While they may have actually been in financial trouble at that point, it still doesn't excuse the fact that they were trying to take away from other people in need. Speaking of how Plagued Moth treats other people, he certainly loves to dox others and wish death upon them, even wishing death upon the family members of people he doesn't like. If you go on Twitter tonight and post something negative about Plagued Moth, there is a large chance that he will wish death upon you. If you go further with it and insist that he has done wrong, he probably will try to find out who you are and where you live. Plagued Moth has made some very strange posts on Twitter, wishing death and even rape on other people. Now, what could all of this be coming from? Well, Plagued Moth himself admits openly that he came from a broken home where he was abused. This is not something that he should be blamed for in any way. He had a tough upbringing, and there's nothing wrong with being open about that. However, it should be noted that Andrea Morgan, Plagued Moth's wife, met him when he was 17 or younger. She was 26 at the time. In a post that Andrea made in her own words, she said that she met Dylan when he was 17 and she was 26, and that they hooked up. They later would go on to get married a short time later. The fact is that Andrea Morgan, in her own words, admitted to grooming Plagued Moth. This is a point in his life when he was very vulnerable, and no doubt it was easy for Andrea to scoop him up and make him the father of her children. No matter what you may think of the situation, a 26-year-old meeting a 17-year-old, or younger, and molding him into a father for her children is very questionable. Speaking of this couple and their behavior toward minors, Plagued Moth has been caught on multiple occasions making sexual jokes and comments toward children. This includes a moderator of his on his Discord who was 15 to 16 at the time. Like I said before, we're coming back to minors in his Discord. Plagued Moth's Discord even had an 18-plus room where people could post nudes of themselves. That meant that if a child joined the server and was there a couple years, When they turned 18, they could post nude pictures of themselves. Beyond anything else, that's a major risk of grooming and a very bad idea. Now, the bottom of this list carries the things that most people probably do not know. Other than being banned from Taco Bell, Dylan Morgan has also had several other run-ins with the law. This includes multiple arrests for things like driving offenses as well as grand theft. According to information on the web, which cannot be verified at the time of this posting, the grand theft was of medical equipment. Medical equipment that someone else would need. Plague Moth also had a restraining order set against him by a girl that he was stalking. He would allegedly show up to her house and threaten to stab her on multiple occasions. It was after this relationship that led to a restraining order that Plagued Moth would then hook up with 26-year-old Andrea. There are many other details about Plagued Moth that could be added to this list, but I think that you get the picture. Dylan Morgan, aka Plagued Moth, is a bad actor on YouTube. He produces dishonest content, he produces poor quality content, and beneath the surface, he is abusing his audience and abusing others around him. All while flagrantly breaking YouTube's terms of service in such a way that will surely get the attention of advertisers eventually, causing another adpocalypse. And now to Plagued Moth and his wife, because I know you're watching this together, as Moth sits on Andrea's lap like a ventriloquist dummy. When you guys started this campaign of insanity, trying to burn down everyone around you and failing, you had other people going along with it. You had people making videos. You had people trying to hack into various accounts. You had a legion of losers at your side. You may notice now that even those people are gone. You have lost them through your obvious lies, desperate behavior, and outlandish threats. The only people you have now are the most parasocial of grubby leeches who are hanging off of you for the last droplets of clout left. There is no one in your corner. Everyone is against you. And when everyone is against you, it will be very hard for you to lie and say that all of them are pedophiles. Oh, that was weird.